Hey guys, so this video is going to be explaining about loops and nested loops for those who are still struggling a bit with it. So let's go over a simple loop and see how things work in it. So one type of loop that we have studied is called a for loop, and this is how we write a for loop using a pseudocode. So we write this keyword for, and then we have a variable. For example, we have a variable called c over here, and then we have the number of times we wanted to do something. So remember, loop is a type of construct that tells the computer to do something multiple times so that we don't have to type it over and over again. Also remember that if we want the computer to do something over and over again, and if we do not use a loop, then we have to write or type that particular statement or instructions that many number of times. So if let's say if I want the computer to display hello world on screen, let's say 3 times, then I would need to write or type this, if I am using a programming language, this hello world 3 times, print hello world. Now of course, as you can already see, this becomes very time consuming and tedious to write something over and over again, and also if we keep on typing something over and over again, then the chances are that we are going to make a mistake. So in order to overcome this problem, we have the concept of loops in programming or in programming languages. So we have seen 3 different types of loops in class: for loop, while loop, and repeat loop. But we're going to understand how we're going to work with for loops today and see how we can use nested loops to implement certain things. So if I wanted to display hello world 3 times on screen using a loop, and specifically a for loop, I would have to type this or write this in a language. For C, or for count, or for C equals to 1 to 3, then whatever I want to repeat, I will have to type it at once for print hello world, and then we have next C. So this would tell the computer that create a variable C and initialize that variable with the first numeric value that is written after this arrow symbol, and after it has initialized C with 1, it will do or execute whatever statements are between for and next, and then it will jump to this next statement. So in this particular example, after it has initialized C with 1, it is going to display hello world on the screen. If I were to write it over here, let's say ये हमारा output है, this is hello world, and when it jumps to next C, this would tell the computer that increase the value of C by 1. So this will become 2, 1 plus 1, 2, and this would also tell the computer to go back to the starting of the loop and check whether it has reached or exceeded the final number that is written over here. So 2 is of course not greater than 3. Then it is again going to come inside the loop and again execute this statement hello world. Hello world will be displayed on the screen again, and again next C would mean increase the value of counter by 1 again. So it was 2 over here, this will become 3, and then it will go back to the starting of loop. It has still not exceeded this final value. Again it is going to come inside the loop and display hello world on the screen, hello world, and the next C statement will increase the value of count of this variable C by 1. This will become 4. It will go back. Now it has exceeded the value of this final value, So now this time it's not going to go inside the loop but jump outside the loop over here, and if something is written over here, it is going to execute that. In this particular case, there's nothing written over here, so the program is going to end with the value C as 4, and it is going to display hello world 3 times on the screen. So if I want it to display 30 times, all I have to do is change the code and insert a 0 over here. This will become 30, and it will display hello world 30 times. So if I were not using a loop, I would have to type this hello world 30 times, right? Now this is how a loop works. It has a starting point. This particular, if we're talking about for loop, this FOR is the starting point, and next C or next whatever variable is written is the ending point. Whatever is between these two lines will be executed multiple times or done multiple times. Now what happens with nested loop? Let's create a nested loop. A nested loop means that we have a loop inside a loop. So let's keep this as 30. Oh, sorry, as 3. And we have this, the ending of the for loop was with next C, because I've written C over here, I need to write C over here. A loop within a loop means that when my one loop has started, another loop would start within it. Let's create another loop for x equals to 1 to 4, and let's display something over here. Print hello world, hello w for world, and next x. Now this is a loop within a loop, and if you start a loop within a loop, or if you create a construct within another construct, it has to end within an outer construct. So think of this for loop, this for C, think of this as like a box, right? And inside a box you are creating another box, something like this. So the box that is inside the outer box has to end inside the outer box. You cannot overlap the boxes. You cannot go like this, something like this. This cannot be done. So if you started this for loop, this for x loop inside this for C, then it has to end within this C for loop, right? So for x and next x is started off inside the loop and it's ending inside the loop. You cannot do overlapping, so you cannot have next x over here. This would overlap the outer loop. The inner loop would overlap the outer loop. You cannot do that. Okay, so this is how a nested loop looks like. Now what happens when this starts executing? So initially when this loop starts for C 1 to 3, the computer will create, will assign a memory space to this variable C, and it will assign 1 to it, right? After this it encounters this statement. So when this loop starts, it is supposed to execute whatever is between this for C and next C 3 times. Okay, that's how this loop is going to work. But when it encounters the second statement, it sees that there is another loop within the loop. So once it starts a loop, it has to end the loop, unless of course there is another loop within itself. So for C is supposed to go 3 times, and within this for loop there is another loop. So the control of the program is going to jump over here, and it is going to initialize another variable x with the value 1. Now when it encounters this for x loop, it has to completely finish this loop before going on towards whatever statement is written over here. Let's say we have print by, for example, right? So before it goes towards displaying towards this line and it displays by, it has to execute this loop 4 times, right? So when this loop starts, the value of x becomes 1, and it is going to display hello w on the screen. Now this is, let's say, the output, hello w, and when it reaches this line, it tells the computer to increase the value x by 1. So this becomes 1 plus 1, 2, and it also tells the computer to take the control of the program back to the starting of the loop over here and check whether it has exceeded the final value, just like we did in the previous loop. So of course 2 is not greater than 4. It is again going to jump inside the loop and execute hello w again. So we have this output hello w, and then again it goes to next x. It increases the value of x by 1. This becomes 3, and it goes back, checks whether it has exceeded the final value. No, it is not. It has not. It comes within the loop again, and again it displays hello w on the screen. Right? Again it goes to it encounters this next x statement, increases the value of x by 1. This becomes 4. Goes back, checks whether it has exceeded the final value. No, it has not. So again it displays hello w on the screen, and again it increases the value. This statement increases the value of x by 1. So now it has exceeded the final value. It would not go inside the loop. This is inside the loop, so it would not go inside the loop. It is going to jump outside it right after the next x statement, and it is going to encounter this print by statement. It will display by on the screen. All the while the value of c is still 1, and the value of x has started off from 1 and it has gone up till 5. So by, and after by it encounters next c. So next c, what does it mean? It means increase the value of c by 1. So this will become what? This will become 2, and it will again send the control of the program back to the starting of the loop. So it will check whether this has this value exceeds the final value. No, it is not, it does not exceeds. So again it is going to come inside the loop, and again it is going to start executing whatever is written within it. So again it will encounter for x 1 to 4. So it is going to reinitialize this variable x with 1, and again it is going to keep on doing the same thing 4 times. So if I can move this over here. So after this it will again display hello w on the screen because of this statement. Again it will jump to this statement, next x, which will increase the value of x by 1. This will become 2. Goes back, checks whether it has exceeded the final value. No, it is not. Displays hello w on the screen again, and then it increases the value of x by 1. This becomes 3, and the whole process keeps on going until it has displayed hello w 4 times. Then this becomes 5, and jumps outside the loop and displays by on the screen. Encounters next c, increases the value of c by 1. This becomes 3. Checks whether it has exceeded the final value. No, it has not. Comes inside the loop again and reinitialize the value of x by 1. The same process goes on again. So the third time it is going to display the same hello w 4 times and a by, and after that this value of c becomes 4, and now it has exceeded this final value. It is going to jump outside the loop, the outer loop, and the program is going to end. So this is how a nested loops work, a loop within a loop. So as you can see, this print hello w, this would have been executed how many times? 4 plus 4, and then again the 2 more times, because it's written 1 to 4. So 4 times, I'm sorry, 3 times, because 4 times it will display hello w, and it is going to repeat this 3 times, because this loop is going to make sure that this inside loop or inner loop runs 3 times. So it is going to display hello w how many times? 12 times. So we can also multiply these two values to find out how many number of times the statement within the inner loop will get executed. So I hope this made some sense. If you still have any questions, please feel free to send me your question, then I'll try to answer them as soon as possible.